Welcome back to our third episode of FF Podcast. My name is Bob,
Levi.
and we're here to give you expert advice on the football games this week. We want to start out with our fantasy recap from last week. Of course, we had mentioned in our last show that we played each other, and how did that turn out?
You got pooped on.
I got wrecked, okay? So, yeah, I think you beat me by 15, 16 points. I did look good early in the Texans. I had Nico Collins. He scored
right
within
away.
the first series, and then he kind of just disappeared after that. So you won comfortably. That puts you at 2-0 in our league. I'm 1-1. This week I'm playing my brother Dennis. Dennis, if you're listening, you're in trouble. Okay, you're going down. The old farts. That's his team name. Who are you playing this week?
The Gritty Committee.
And they went off last week.
Yeah, they had 162.
I believe he had Amon St. Brown
and Malik Neighbors.
Two of the top scoring wide receivers last week. So I'll dive in and talk a little bit about my team. Last week, again, I lost, but I was a two-man team, basically. I had Lamar Jackson got me 35 points roughly, and Taylor, JT, got me 30 points. So out of my 117, over half of them were those two players. Everybody else, this was average to bad. Collins got 12.7. Boswell did well with 12. And everybody else was in the 4 and 5 between McLaurin, Breece Hall, Laporta, Ridley, and Washington's defense.
Lions scored 52 points and Laporta got 4.
Yeah, how does that happen? I mean, I think everybody scored but Laporta. So, well, his day is coming, I believe. So not a great week for me, but you never give up hope. But I do have a little optimistic about what I got on the bench, because with Aaron Jones out now for the Vikings, I have Jordan Mason sitting on my bench.
I think Chubb looked good too.
And Chubb didn't look bad at all. I'm definitely going to put in Mason in my flex and take out Ridley. I had talked about taking Ridley out last week. I should have done it.
Well, even if you did, the person you would have put in would have got the same points. Pearsall got 7.2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it really was a wash. I was never going to win that game last week, but this is a new week, and I am happy that Mason, he's going to get majority of the carries, obviously, with the Vikings, with Aaron Jones out. So how'd you do? I know you beat me, but what players went off on your team?
Jamar Chase had bounced back 31 points. I'm glad. That's why he's the wide receiver 1. But Burrow is out. I don't know how much he got after Burrow got out, but he still went off. And I think even with Burrow hurt, he's still going to be the wide receiver 1. I'm not worried at all.
I wouldn't either. Browning seemed like he was throwing it up there.
He was just throwing it to Chase because he's reliable.
And sometimes throwing it to the other team too. But at least they're slinging it out there. They don't really, Chase Brown really hasn't gotten off on the run game.
I think he will now that Burrow's out.
They're going to have to probably focus a little bit more on that. The Bengals, I feel bad for Joe Burrow, and now he is out for 3 months, basically the season. He won't come back until the middle of December, and that's pretty much the fantasy season, right? I mean, by then we're into the playoffs.
Crunch time.
Exactly. So, but what I feel bad about is I equate it to like their team is like a Cadillac, a beautiful car and everything. It's got all these shiny things, but when you open up the hood, it's just a bunch of wires and an old engine. They don't have a good offensive line for him. They don't have a good defense. And the guy is, he's a pocket passer. He needs that protection. And I think until they start investing in a good offensive line and a little bit of help with him up front, he's going to be struggling with injuries going forward as he has in the past. So anyway, anything else? How about your bench? Anybody?
My other receiver did quite well, Tedero McMillan. He got me a nice 15 points. I like his floor. Bryce Young's throwing it up to him. He's an insane receiver. He's great. I think I'm excited for his season. I was worried about him at the start because he's a rookie, but I'm excited for his future. As well as Kenneth Walker, 20 points. He's back. He's ready to play. He's still splitting touches with Sharp, but I think he showed them that he is the lead running back. And my defense got me a nice 18 points. The kick return, whatever the hell that guy was doing, bounced off his damn head, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the bench, guys." And we scored a touchdown off that, and that gave me some points.
That's right. So yeah, I agree with what you said there. The Seahawks defense is looking really good, and you had a lot of great players that went off for you this week.
Two interceptions.
You do worry when you do draft those rookies, right? Because some of them come out. I mean, very few come out and just put up those numbers like you see from some of those 2-3-year-old players. But I think both of your rookies you've done real
Tyler
well.
Warren, too.
Yeah,
I
Warren,
think I'm excited for him.
Another good week, around 10 points.
Still hasn't got his first touchdown. It's coming now.
Yeah, and the tight end position, very rarely will you get a 25 banger from a tight end. But if you can consistently get that 10 to 15 points,
it'll help your team a lot.
Exactly, and that's all I'm really looking for out of my tight end. Anything over that is a bonus, right?
I think if you get 7 to 8, you should be happy because tight ends usually are around like 5. So if you can get 8 to 10, you're in a good spot.
That's right. So that's a little bit. Do you have any like sleepers this week or anything like that you like or anything?
Sleepers as in like fantasy, who I think is going to do good next week.
Yeah, well, we can kind of do that when we go through the positions.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go into that. So this week you do the backs. You do quarterback, running back. I'll put in my little 2 cents worth along the way, and then I'll go over receivers and tight ends, and then we'll wrap up with defense and kickers. So what do you have to tell us about the quarterbacks last week?
So the underperformers, Kyler Murray was 6 under. I just put him in there. A lot of quarterbacks really were just around the average, so I just threw Kyler in there out of the other ones. Then Jalen Hurts was 11 under. If you haven't seen the clip of him and Chris Jones arguing at the line, it's quite funny. You should look it up. Then I have Michael Penix Jr. He was 12 under, but they still won that game. Then I have Justin Fields. He was 16 under what he was projected. I think the backup quarterback did better than he did. The backup quarterback got like 10 points.
Well, he did get injured. I'm not sure at what point in that game, but he did have to come out.
And as well, J.J. McCarthy got hurt, so he was 17 under.
Yeah, those are the ones I had. Geno, 17 under projection. Penix, about a dozen under, and McCarthy around 17 as well. So who was the top performers this week in
the QB overperformers? Jake Browning was 9 over. I know. I just threw him in there. Why not? 9 over. Drake May was 11 over. Mac Jones was 12 over. That's not bad. That was pretty good. Mm-hmm. Spencer Rattler was 12 over.
Nice.
Bryce Young was 14 over.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson was 21 over, and Jared Goff was 24 over.
Yeah, those two. And who would have seen Russell Wilson? He looked like he was back.
They were talking trash about him last week.
Yeah, and he's in a tough market, New York. You don't perform, and you're going to hear about it. And he did hear about it after the first week, but he had a good bounce back week. Too bad their defense couldn't hold them off. They should have actually won that game against the Cowboys. So anybody you see bouncing back this week that maybe struggled in the quarterback position or that you got your eye on?
No, I don't. I don't think. I mean, Jalen Hurts maybe.
I see Hurts and I see Allen too. Allen,
Oh yeah, Allen. I forgot about him actually.
Yeah, he had about 12 points and.
They didn't really need him though at all. James Cook just went insane.
And I can't figure out the Eagles. I mean, it's like they don't have any.
They don't do anything and they win.
In their fantasy and they win
Saquon Barkley literally hit projections and they won.
Exactly. So okay. And what do you got for running backs in that last week?
Why don't you go?
You want me to do running backs? Okay.
No, like one of your positions.
Okay, I'll do the receivers then. All right. So receivers last week, overperformers were Ahmad St. Brown. He came back. He was 25 points over. He scored over 36 points in our league. Malik Neighbors, he had 35 points. He was 21 over projection. Let's see, Jamar Chase, he was 11 over projection at 21. Of course, he's projected very high at 20 points, but still a great week for Jamar Chase. Adunze out of nowhere, and when we were drafting,
I don't think barely anybody started him.
I know, and he ended up with 30 points, a little over, and he was 20 points over projected. And then out of nowhere, someone had to get the points, right? Russell Wilson had 440 yards passing. Wayne Dale Robinson, who is available on our waiver wire,
I'm looking at him.
26.2 points. He was 18 over projected. So any thoughts on any of those? It looks like kind of the cream of the crop came back, right? We got Amon. We see some familiar names in there: Neighbors, Chase, and then a couple new ones: Adunze and Dale Robinson. Some folks that are struggling out there, underperformers. I got Drake London. He came in at about 5.4 points. It was 9 under what he was projected. AJ Brown, 5.2, 7 under. Again, neither one of the Eagles' offensive players, besides Saquon, is getting a little bit, is really performing at all, but they keep winning. Marvin Harrison Jr. only got 3.7, so he was about 9 points under. And remember this guy, Sutton?
I do. He's Mr. Solid.
Yeah, 11 under. He only got 1.1. So they were going to Tony Franklin, who I'm not sure if he's available in our
He
line.
is.
And he had a big game. But Sutton is this kind of disappeared. He was only at 1 point again and 11 under projected. So bouncing back. I think London will come back against Carolina. I think they'll score and they'll move the ball. And I think I'm saying the Eagles receivers are going to come back this week. I think both of them will have decent weeks. I'm not saying Jamar Chase but I think both Devontae Smith and AJ Brown will do better this week. So if you have any ones that you're kind of looking at that may bounce back this week,
I think AJ Brown.
I think he'll come. Yeah,
He's gonna cry sooner or later.
He's already starting to cry, and so they're going to just throw it to him just to shut him up. So anyway, we got a dog here that needs to go out. All right, so that wraps up the receivers. Let's move into the running backs. Who performed well and who struggled last week?
The underperformers. Aaron Jones was 8 under. He only got 2 points. He's projected 10. Chase Brown and Breece Hall were both 9 under. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt was also 9 under. Ashton Genty was 10 under. I don't like this guy. I don't know why he was drafted so high. He should be projected like 10 points. He doesn't look very good. And Derrick Henry was 18 under, only getting 2 points.
Yeah, 2 point. Again, that's another one that makes me scratch my head.
He will bounce back, though.
I mean, didn't they score 41 points?
Yeah.
And he got 2 points, but they didn't need him, right? I mean, that kind of is the same thing with the Eagles receivers. They just haven't needed him. So I also had Breece Hall because he's close to my heart being on my team. He was 8 under. He only got 4.8. And this Amarian Hampton, he's really not, he had the fumble that didn't cost him yesterday, but late in the game, I believe that he only got 1.9 points last night and 10 points below what he's
Is Najee Harris playing more than him?
Najee is getting more looks now, and I think, anytime you start fumbling the ball, you're going to start sitting on the pine a little bit.
That sucks for Hampton. Everyone was like, this guy's going to be a stud, and look what happened.
And then I do have some that I think are going to do well this week. Jordan Mason. These aren't ones that are going to be top 1 or 2, but I believe they're going to do well with him getting the majority of the touches with the Vikings. JCM, Eckler's out. I think they're going to use him a little bit more. Bill. And then Chase Brown. I like you had mentioned earlier, they're going to have to go. The quarterback Browning, I think he's going to need to rely a little bit more on the run game, maybe some short passes out of the backfield to Brown. So I like those 3 to do better this week. So
my running back overperformers. Tyler Algier, the backup to Mr. Bijan, got 9 points over he was supposed to, which is crazy. Ramondre Stevenson got 11 over. He was projected
Ramondre
7
for the-
points.
that Trayvon Henderson really hasn't done anything. For the
Another one
Patriots.
that's projected to be really good.
That's where the rookies, they always worry me a little bit.
Javonte Williams was 10 over. It looks like this guy is solidified and he's back to his rookie self. Um, Jonathan Taylor was 15 over. He was going crazy. He had a big 68-yard run towards the end of the game. James Cook is 16 over as well. Them moves by James Cook, he might end up as a top 3 back this year, and that's crazy to say, but he's looking good. And that's all I have.
Okay, and those were the top. Taylor was number 1 this week, and Cook was 2. Achane had a good week. He had a good bounce back week. He was at 22. He was 5 over projected. And then Kenneth Walker actually was 10 over projected. He had 20, a little over 20 points. So some familiar names there again. But we're not seeing the Saquon Barkleys or the CMCs or anything like that. So
We had Derrick Henry last week.
Henry, so there are some different people in there. So very good.
Wide receivers.
We did those. We're going on to the tight ends. Okay. So I will go through I'll do what you do, underperformers. Okay. So kind of tough to find, again, the tight ends aren't projected that high, around 9-10 points. Sometimes the better ones around 12-15. Laporta, again, on my team, he ended up with a whopping 4.1 when they scored 52 points. Very good. He was 5 under. Ingram, remember that guy? Everybody thought he was going to be in the top 10, if not close to the top 5. He only had 1.7, and he was 5 under projected. Hawkinson, another one, I obviously with what he's struggling with is J.J. McCarthy. He does not look that good. And of course, he is out now for a while. And we're going to get Carson Wentz. We're going to have to call Grandma Helen. Grandma Helen is my mom.
My grandma.
And she is a big North Dakota homer. And she loves Carson Wentz because he's from Bismarck, North Dakota. And now he is going to get the start against the Bengals next week in Minnesota. And then Mark Andrews. What happened to Mark Andrews? Where are you? 0.9. Not even a point. And he was 7 under projected. So anyone who drafted him has got to be disappointed. I feel I did mention he wasn't in my top 10. I felt like writing was on the wall with him. He's going down lower, and I don't expect him to really
You're missing someone big. You're missing Brock Bowers there.
How much was he under?
He was 6 under.
6 under. So Brock Bowers, and he's struggling. Did you see with the brace on? He doesn't seem to have that movement that he did before the injury. So I believe that once he gets that taken care of, gets better, he'll be back up there in the top. So the top performers. Let's see, I have Trey McBride. He had 10 points. These are the top 5 scores. Number 5 was McBride. He was about 1 over projected, 10.8. Turd Ferguson. I like to call him Turd Ferguson. Jake Ferguson for the Cowboys, 12.3. He was 6 over projected. Juwan Johnson, still out there on our waiver wire. He had 13.4, second week in a row where he had double digits, and he was 7 over projected. Zach Ertz, solid week for Ertz on Thursday Night Football, 15.4, 8 over projected. And then number 1 was the guy on the other side of the line of scrimmage, the Packers, Tucker Kraft, 23.4, led all tight ends, 16 over projected, just killed us on Thursday Night Football.
He was only 20 yards away from breaking the Packers tight end leading receiver yards in a game. And the only reason he didn't is because the person who got the Hail Mary from Rodgers years ago was a tight end, and he ended up with 160 yards. Kraft was right there, so if the tight end didn't catch it, he would have the new record.
Yeah, and their receivers were running wide open all day. I was very disappointed in Washington's secondary, and their offense is still struggling. I got a couple bounce backs. Of course, I'm a Laporta fan. I think he will come back, and Ingram. I don't think these two, you can keep them down.
I disagree with Ingram. I don't like him.
Broncos not using them the right way.
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right, so I'll just go through the kickers, top scorers. Really, there's nothing to look at projected or anything like that. The kickers is kind of a, it's you get what you get. Aubrey, though, again on top with 22 points.
Tony Romo?
Tony Romo, 18 points. Schrader for Indianapolis, 18 points. Sly for 17 points. And the old man Prater.
That dude
14.
looks 60 years old. They were saying that he was supposed to be a football coach for his son's team, and then the Bills called him up 1 week before the season.
He had 14. Well, some of the players, he went into one of the meetings for special teams, and they thought, oh, we have a new coach because he looks so old. And here it's their kicker. So very solid kicker, though. He always has been good. He played for Denver many years.
And Cardinals.
And I like both. This week, I like the Ravens and Lions to score a lot this week. So I like both their kickers, Loop and Bates. Defense, top scorers this week in our league. Falcons were number 1 at 27. Thank you, J.J. McCarthy. I was looking at that the week before. The Bears, for 3 quarters, they dominated the Vikings, and they were like the number 3 scoring defense. So maybe I'll just pick up the defense that's playing the Vikings every week.
Yeah, but now they have Carson Wentz, so I'd be scared.
You bet. Grandma's going to make sure they do well. Number 2 was the Ravens. They bounced back. They didn't do very well the first week, 18 points. Seattle. I had them up there in my top 5 this year. They were number 8. They were number 3. They tied for second also. They had 18. The Cardinals had 17. And then the Chargers had 16 last night. So I like Seattle this week against New Orleans. I believe they're going to do well. And I like Tampa Bay against the Jets. They're both at home this week, right? New Orleans or Seattle?
It's at Seattle, and it's at the Bucks.
Yeah, so I like both of those defenses this week. Maybe if one of them, maybe Tampa Bay is available, I'll pick them up. Do you have anything to add with defenses or kickers?
I don't think so.
Okay, so let's move into the waiver wire, my Mr. Waiver Wire Wizard. Anything out there that you're seeing that you're interested in that you think people should pick up that they need?
The backup running back for the Jags, Mr. Tootin. I think someone has him in our league. I'm not too sure, but he looks pretty good.
Tootin?
Yeah, and as well as Troy Franklin for the Broncos and Wan'Dale Robinson for the Giants. I think both are good options.
I agree. And then quarterbacks, in our league, we still have Lawrence out there. Might be a go. And if you want to take a chance on some of these ones that are coming in, replacing maybe Carson Wentz, you're going to draft him. Maybe you should drop Allen and pick up Wentz to make Grandma.
Too bad Allen's on the can't cut list.
That would be make Grandma very proud of you.
I can't personally drop
I
Allen.
wish you would have done that before we played this week. So, okay. So now we've kind of gone through our fantasy. Let's move on to, I'm going to do my little against the spread, tell everybody how I did last week real quick. And you can make some comments because I know you have opinions on this as well. So first week I went 2-2. Last week I went 1-3. 3-5. I haven't quite sold the house yet, but not a great start. The losses were the Commanders. I had them to cover or beat the Packers. I had the Titans. They didn't cover. And then I had the Dolphins, and they lost as well. I did win with the Lions going away. So I was 1-3. This week I have a couple locks, okay, folks? Take the Chargers, okay? Chargers are who they playing this week? Let me look that up real quick.
They play the Broncos.
Yeah, they're 3 points favored, but I believe they're going to beat the Broncos.
They're 3-point unders now.
No, they're -3, so that means that they're favored.
Oh.
So they're favored by 3. I like that pick. And I also like the 49ers at 1.5 over the Cardinals. And the reason I like that is the Cardinals are 2-0, I get it, but look at who they played. They played at New Orleans. They played Carolina at home. And I've been in the Valley for 11 years. I've seen this act before. They start out hot. They're looking good.
They started off 12-0 and then lost 6 in a row.
Exactly. So I believe that this
but
is...
But Brock Purdy's not playing.
I still think San Francisco's going to win that game at least by 2 points or a field goal. So I like that one. I like the Eagles. They're 3.5 point favorites. I like them to win by more than that against the, let's see who they're playing against. Eagles have the Rams. It's a tough game, but I believe they're going to cover that. And then I like the Patriots. Basically in a pick'em game. The Patriots are playing at home against, let me see here, the should have done my homework here, right? Patriots
Steelers.
against the Steelers. I think the Patriots are going to put pressure on Rodgers, and I think they'll eke that one out. It's basically a pick 'em. The Patriots are favored by a half point. So, what do you think about my picks?
I don't like the Patriots on that one. I would take the Steelers.
Would you?
Yeah.
No. That's why
I hate the Steelers, though.
you hate the Steelers, but you would take them in that case.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll see how I do on the old spread. Maybe I'll make some money this week.
We'll see.
Okay, let's go into. You want to do the games first? You want to go over our power rankings?
Let's do our games first.
Okay, go ahead and lead us off. What's the Thursday night game?
Dolphins at the Bills, and I'm just going to go with the hot hand and say the Bills by 15-20.
They're favored by 12, and of course, I'm not going to argue there. I'm going Bills as well. So before we start, sorry, but how'd you do last week on your picks?
I went 14-2.
14-2. The kid, congratulations. He's taken over the household. He beat me in fantasy. I went 11-5 for the second
Not
week
bad.
in a row. So overall, you're 24-8. I'm 22-10. So now I went from one game up to two
I
down
have the crown.
for now. So we still got a few more weeks to go, but very good. 14-2 is an awesome record. And our guest picker, Nancy, she was 8-8.
She went wrong when she pit the Steelers over the Seahawks. That's where she went wrong.
Yeah, ever since then, the mojo and everything was just wrong after that. So, but I really appreciate her. We appreciate her coming in, and we're going to have more guests going down the road there. So, all right. So next game, we got the Packers, who are favored by 7.5 at the Browns. I've got the Packers.
Got the Packers by 13+.
13+. All right. Next one you got.
I got the Bengals at the Vikings.
The Bengals at the Vikings.
Great. This is going to be like a 3-3 game.
This was my hardest pick.
I disagree. This wasn't hard. I mean, yeah. It's going to be.
I'm going to take the Vikings.
I'm going to take the Bengals. They have Jamar Chase versus Justin Jefferson. Why don't they just play quarterback?
Yeah, why don't they just one-on-one? They should just have them both line up and let them go.
They have one lineman, one receiver, and then them at quarterback.
There would be a lot more offense.
Yeah.
Okay. So next one, I have the Texans at the Jags, and the Jags are favored by 1. Tight game.
This was a hard one for me. The Texans are 0-2.
Yes.
I'm going to go with the Jags.
Are you?
Yeah.
This is really hard for me too, but I'm going to go with the Texans. I feel like they have to win this game if they're going to have any chance to compete in that division. So I'm going to go with the Texans. So we disagree on that one. What do you got next?
Colts at the Titans.
Colts at the Titans.
I'm going to ride that hot hand. I'm going to go with the Colts, Danny Dimes.
They're favored by 3.5. I'm going to go with the Titans.
3 weeks in a row, you've picked the damn Titans. Jeez Louise.
I don't know.
And you picked the Colts over the Dolphins last week. Are we serious?
I didn't pick the Colts over the Dolphins.
You picked the Colts over the Broncos, and that's a crazy pick. I mean, that's when I got wrong. But now when the Colts are playing a much easier team, you're going to take the other team?
I do. I think Titans are their backs against the wall. They're going to win that game. Okay, the Rams at the Eagles. Eagles are favored by 3.5. I'm going Eagles.
I think this is going to be one of the best games this week. I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Yeah, I think they'll squeeze it out. So I think it's going to be some points. You know, the Eagles are so boring to watch. I'll tell you that. So, go ahead.
Raiders at the Commanders.
All right, what do you got?
I have the Commanders.
They're favored by 3. Don't know if Jaden's going to play. And by the way, I did put a Band-Aid on his left knee because he did hurt it. But it looks like he's 50-50 playing. I still think whether he plays or not, they're going to win that game. So Commanders I have as well. So, all right, Falcons at the Panthers.
Sorry, Sean, but I'm going with the Falcons.
I am too. They look good. I think Falcons.
Their defense.
Yeah, so they're -5. They're favored by 5. I like the Falcons as well. What do you got next?
Steelers at Patriots. This was a rough one for me, but I guess I'm going to go with the Steelers.
I'm going Patriots. So we disagree on that one. Jets at the Bucks. Bucks are favored by 7.
I have the Bucks.
I do too. I'm starting to become a Baker believer. I'll tell you that.
I really love their team, and they have one of my favorite defensive players. I really like that Anthony Winfield Jr.
Yeah, he was for the Vikings for many years, or for a few years. What do you got next, kid?
Broncos at the Chargers.
Broncos at the Chargers. Who do you got?
Who do you got?
Why am I first? I got the Chargers, of course. I'm picking them. They're 3-point favorite. I think they'll win.
I think the Chargers are walking to 3-0.
I do too. So, how about the Saints and the Seahawks? Who do you have?
Don't
Saints,
even
Seahawks.
gotta ask. I'm
Seahawks.
going with the Saints. No, I'm going with the Seahawks.
And they're favored by almost 8 points. 7.5.
Wow.
I got Seahawks as well. So,
Cowboys at the Bears.
the Bears. I think the
Bears?
Yeah, I got
Huh?
the Bears.
No, you
The
don't.
Bears.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, they're going to
He's
get their
tanking.
first
He's
win.
tanking for the number one
They're
pick.
favored by 1. I'm taking the Bears.
I'm going with the Cowboys. How are they favored? I would bet the Cowboys. Oh, wait.
Cowboys barely won at home against the Giants. What are you talking about?
That was a good game. They both sides played good.
They should have never won that game. The Giants should have beat them. And no way. I like the Bears.
Cardinals at the 49ers.
I like the Niners.
I do
1.5
I'm going with the Niners.
point favorites at home.
I hate the Niners, but I'm going to take them there.
And I'm very disappointed in our primetime games this week. I mean, Thursday night is the Dolphins at the Bills, a 12-point spread. And I think Sunday night's kind of a yawner. Chiefs at the Giants. Chiefs are favored by 6.
I'm going to go with the Giants.
Are you? Upset special? I like the Chiefs. I keep putting them out there.
Chiefs do not look good at
Well,
all.
they only lost 3 to the Eagles, who's probably one of the top 2 teams in the league. So they're not as bad as
This is my upset of the week. I'm going to take the New York Giants.
I'm taking the Chiefs. And last one, Monday Night Football.
Oh, the best game. This is a good game.
This is a good game.
Lions at the Ravens. I have question marks next to this game because I don't know what the hell I'm going to take. But I think I'm going to lean towards I'm going to go Ravens by 2.
I'm going to take the Ravens. They're -6.
How are they -6?
I don't think they're going to win by that much. I think it'll be
really close.
And I like the Ravens in this game. What's funny about this is one of these teams are going to be 1-2 after this. That's crazy. But both have played some pretty tough teams. So, all right. So we'll see how we do. Again, you're at 24-8 after 2 weeks.
Mhm.
I'm at 22-10. Just right behind you, nipping at you. All right, so let's do some power rankings. What are your top 10 teams in the league right now?
Okay, so I accidentally put the Rams too high, and I'm going to move them. Actually, I have at 12, I have the Chiefs. They're out of the top 10 right now. And at number 11, I have the 49ers. Do you have anybody that's out?
I have the Chiefs at 12. I have at 13 actually. Then I got the Cardinals at 11 and 12, and then I got the Commanders at 11. The Commanders fell out.
Okay, so at number 10, I have the Rams, and they're completely new to my list. They haven't touched here. At number 9, I have the Chargers. They're staying the same. They haven't moved up or down. At number 8, I do have the Colts, and they're completely new here. At number 7, I have the Commanders, and they went down 1. At number 6, I do have the Lions, and they went up 4.
Okay. So I have the Colts at 10, and they're entering my list here. Let me just double check last week real quick. So they were one of my honorable mentions last week, but they make the top 10. At number 10, the Colts. At number 9, I got the Seahawks. They were not in my list last week as well, so I got them breaking into the top 10. Now, I'm sure you're all sitting there wondering, how did the Cardinals not make the top 10 and the Seahawks do? Think about who they played, okay? The Seahawks had 2 pretty tough games.
We should have won week 1, too. I think we should have won that game.
Yes, and they took care of a Pittsburgh team. And I know Pittsburgh is not the old black
questionable
from the day, but they're still a tough team to beat.
Did you know that we're the first team in NFL history to beat Aaron Rodgers on all 3 of his teams?
That's good.
Jets, Steelers, and the Packers. We beat them on all.
Well, you guys play them every week, and you'd be 17-0. So, and the first week when they played the Niners, they should have won that game. You know, they had the big turnover late in the game. So I have the Seahawks at 9. I have the Rams at 8, another new team. Well, the Rams were at 9 last week, so I moved them up 1. I have the Bucks at 7. The Bucks were not even in my top 10 last week, so I'm becoming a believer on the Bucks. I have Lions at 6. They moved up 4 from 10.
All right,
The same as you.
so my number 5 is the Eagles, and they went down 2. My number 4 is the Bucks, and they went up 2. My number 3 is the Packers, and they went up 1. And Ravens is number 2. They're staying the same, and Bills is number 1, staying the same.
Okay. I have the Chargers at number 5. They moved up 1 for me. I have the Ravens. As a matter of fact, Ravens I have at 4, same as last week. I have the Bills at 3. They actually dropped 1 because the Packers jumped over them at number 2, and number 1 I have the Eagles. I am not going to take the Eagles off.
The Eagles. Oh my gosh, no.
They're 2-0, and who did they play? They played the Chiefs
Uh-huh.
and they played the Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
until they're beat, nobody can beat them. So I'm keeping them on number 1 unless they falter. So
No, Ravens and Bills and Packers and the Bucks I'm taking over.
I'm surprised you have the Chargers so low because I'm really believing in the Chargers. They handled the Raiders last night. They beat the Chiefs, not handily, but pretty comfortably down in
They
Sao
did.
Paulo. So I believe I'm becoming a believer in the Chargers. Matter of fact, I know they're going to win that division.
I'm shocked you have the Seahawks, not the Commanders, on your list. They dropped that much.
The Commanders are just. I see too many holes there. Like I said, they're secondary. They were running open in the seams. Their offense is just not clicking. Don't seem like their offensive line is doing well. Green Bay was in the backfield as soon as he got the ball, Jaden Daniels. So I feel like they have some issues there. A couple more injuries now. They lost Eckler. They lost Wise. I just feel like they're not. I dropped from number 5 to my number 11, actually. So
That's a crazy drop off.
yeah, but they'll be back. Trust me. So, all right. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Nope.
Okay, so this was our 3rd episode. Again, we want to thank you all for joining us, and hope you enjoy our topics and our podcast here. Don't forget to what?
Like, subscribe, and comment down any opinions or thoughts.
That's right. And
do we sound crazy to you?
We are a little crazy and stuff. So we're excited to have some guests coming up here. Some future guests. We're hoping to get Grandma Helen on the old phone.
That's a little crazy. That's like a while away. She don't come down for a while.
Well, we're going to do it over the phone, maybe. We'll just put her up to the microphone. So, and we'll have a picture of her. We'll show a picture of her. And then, of course, my wife, Sheila, your mom.
She was budging tonight.
Yeah, we wanted to have her come in tonight, but I don't look good enough in my hair. I'm just not ready for TV. So, but she'll be definitely coming in and stuff. So I do feel good that we're better than our guest pickers. I mean,
yeah, 14-2. I'm happy with myself.
Yeah, 8-8 for Nancy, and I went 11-5. So I'm Mr. Consistent, if nothing else. So, all right, with that, again, thank you all. Anything else you want to add?
See ya.
Yeah.